to Drumming with Doug. And I know that you're sitting there thinking, before we even get started here, Doug, is that t-shirt for real? Does that t-shirt really light up and respond to noise? Or have you gotten so popular now that Pixar is doing the special effects for Drumming with Doug? Not quite there yet. This indeed is a t-shirt that responds to sound. Check this out. You see that? I mean, how cool is that? Pretty much if you were wearing this shirt at the club, you were guaranteed to leave with a honey strapped to each arm. I'm assuming that's what would happen if you wore this to a club. I actually have not worked up the courage yet to wear this in public. But still, pretty awesome shirt, because in today's Drumming with Doug, you will be able to gauge the consistency of my drumming by how the shirt responds. Speaking of this Drumming with Doug, it's all about one of my favorite exercises ever, time change. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so time change is one of those exercises that conceptually is fairly simple. It makes a lot of sense and is easy to understand, but the execution of it is pretty difficult and takes some serious time and practice with a metronome. What we do is we take a measure of 4/4, big surprise, and we're going to start by playing eighth notes, or 2 notes per beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the next measure, we immediately will go to triplets, which are 3 notes spaced evenly per beat. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. After that, we go to 16th notes, which are 4 notes spaced evenly per beat. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and so on. So you can see the pattern, right? We just add 1 rhythmic value each new measure. So let's try to play those 3 measures together. A measure of 8th notes, a measure of triplets, a measure of 16th notes. And this is at 82 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready, go. So the benefit of this exercise is pretty obvious. The ability to modulate from one rhythmic value to another without losing the overall sense of time or pulse, which is something that happens very often when we're switching between styles or fills, or we're in the middle of playing a drum fill. The trick to pulling this off is analyzing what note in the new phrase is actually the most important note. Like, what is the first note that changes rhythmically? And I have a lot of students that will tell me that the very first note of each measure is the most important note. And that is an extremely important note because it starts the phrase. However, the second note is what actually dictates the amount of space and therefore the overall rhythmic value of what you're about to play. So, for example, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So you can hear how they start and there's a pretty large amount of space between them, and then from the 8th notes to the triplets get smaller, and then to the 16 notes even smaller. That'll continue as you increase the rhythmic value. So for example, if we added on 5-lets, which are 5 notes evenly spaced, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would have this. So starting from the beginning, 2, ready, go. For some of you, the 5-lets might be a little bit challenging, not necessarily because they're quick, but maybe you're just not very familiar with that actual rhythm. Anytime you have a unfamiliar rhythm that you're just beginning to learn, I suggest breaking it down. First, understand how to count it or think about it, and then break it down. So let's talk about some counting options for 5-lets. When I was first taught how to play 5-lets, I was told to use a 5-syllable word like opportunity, opportunity, or hippopotamus, hippopotamus, and use that as my way of counting it. As I got older, I became more familiar with 5/8 and groupings of 5, which are very similar to the Drumming with Doug that we've already talked about, where you can group it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So now I usually, when I'm playing 5s, I'm thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, just like we've talked about in the previous Drumming with Dougs with the groupings of 5s. Next up would be playing 6-tuplets. That would be the final pattern for the exercise. You could go as high as you want, but for now, we'll make 6-tuplets our goal, going from 8th notes to 6-tuplets. And 6-tuplets are, you guessed it, 6 notes spaced evenly per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stop. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on the metronome and play 6 sextuplets, and I'm going to show you a secret or a trick to ensuring that you're playing them in time. Check this out. So here's 82 beats per minute, some sextuplets. Now I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to slowly remove my left hand and pay attention to what my right hand is playing, or your dominant hand. 1, 2, ready, go. It's just playing triplets. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So you're really going to be able to get your sextuplets down if you practice playing the triplets with your right hand and then slowly filling them in with the left hand. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Cool? Alright, let's put all that together. We're going to go from 8th notes all the way up to sextuplets. And then let's go ahead and turn it around, and once we finish playing the sextuplets, come back down. So the pattern will go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Alright, here's the whole thing. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, Alright, cool. So now let's bump the tempo up and try it at 108 beats per minute. If you're kind of struggling with the exercise playing it all monotone or the exact same sound, kind of like we worked on the very first drumming with Doug, something I would suggest doing is go ahead and put a little accent or a little weight on every single downbeat, especially on the 5-lets and the 6-tuplets. It's really going to help you feel your pulse or make sure you're lining right up on the beat. So I'm going to play it like that. We're going to play time change together, 108 beats per minute, accenting the downbeats, or all the beeps. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. Let's pick it up a little more. Let's go 140 beats. Cool, as you get faster, you're probably going to want to play a little bit lower so you don't have to reach as far back. Just don't have as much time. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And finally, at 172 beats per minute. 1, 2, 1, 2. And there you have it. As always, if you have any questions or answers, feel free to contact me at drummingwithdoug@gmail.com. Please take a moment to check out my band, Team Eastlos, at www.teameslos.com. And until next time, keep working on that left.